The UFC just announced the full UFC 327 card for Miami in basically next month, and it is fucking stacked. This is the first time in a while that I've actually been very hyped for a UFC fight. It's been a while for a UFC card as a whole. Obviously, I'm excited for most cards. The one tonight I'm pretty excited for, but this is the first card since I'd say the end of last year when we had Merab versus Yan and Van versus Pantoja. It's a common theme. These cards that people are hyped for, they got my boy Joshua Van on it. That's all I'm saying. But this card is a stacked card. Obviously, we'll go through the whole card, but the main event, we got Yuri versus Oldberg. This is a sick fight. There is a slight issue I have with it, and it's not with this fight in particular, it's with the UFC in general, and it's just, we're seeing so many champs right now vacate their title, and it's starting to become a bit of an issue, I'm going to be honest. A fight like this, why did they have to have Pereira vacate the title? Why couldn't they just do this for the interim, you know what I mean? Because I could see Pereira potentially coming back down to 205, especially if he loses to Garn, which I think is a pretty solid possibility, to be honest. But either way, that's not my issue with this fight in particular. This is a sick fight. Yuri and Oldberg. Right now, I'll give my early predictions for these fights, and then I'll give my actual predictions on the week. But, when I just watched them fight, Oldberg should win this fight, you know what I mean? He's skill-wise, he's so much better than Yuri. But I'm never picking against Yuri again unless he fights Alex. I'm done. I've picked against him. I picked against him in the Hill fight, in the Rakic fight. I picked him versus Khalil. I picked against him in both Alex fights. Who else? I picked Glover to beat him. I'm just done picking anyone other than Alex to beat Yuri because I physically don't think it's possible. So I'll go with him this fight. We'll probably get beaten up for the first 2 rounds and then come back and just knock out Oldberg. We've seen that happen before with Oldberg against Nzechukwu, where he gassed out and got knocked out. But yeah, that's a sick fight. That's the main event. We'll go through the rest of this card now. Obviously, the co-main event, my GOAT, Joshua Van, versus this absolute fraud, Tatsuro Taira. And, this prediction ain't going to change at all. I said this when they were first booked at UFC 302. And obviously, the fight got cancelled because Taira got scared and ran off to fight Perez. Van is going to beat the shit out of Taira. This better fucking not age badly. Whoa, everyone acts first of all, Tatsuro Taira is very good. It's going to sound like I'm saying he's shit, but he's not. He's very good. Everyone acts like he's some absolute demon that can't get beaten. Did we not see Royval stop his takedowns and piece him up on the feet and have him nearly finished multiple times? Literally a year and a bit ago. And Van beat Royval. I'm not using this as MMA maths. I'm not saying Van beat Royval and Taira lost, so Van's going to win. No, that's not what I'm saying. But we've seen Van fight Tatsuro Taira's teammate, Ray Tatsuro. I think I said that right. And he stopped all his takedowns and pieced him up on the feet. Now, obviously Taira is way better, but Joshua Van is also way better, and he's improving so much between each of his fights, you know what I mean? This is one thing I do have to say about this fight. For people who are acting like Van is just not going to be able to stop the takedowns, blah, blah, blah. We've seen with Van his progression, his improvements after each fight throughout his career, right? We've seen him get better since his debut versus Zalgas, versus to his fight with Charles Johnson that he lost. Then even to his next fight with Shirez, we saw improvements. And that was 2 months apart after he got knocked out. We've seen how much he's improved in each fight of his career. And think of it. When he fights Taira, it's going to be almost a year since we've seen him properly. I know we saw him against Pantoja, but obviously that fight ended with the broken arm in 30 seconds. So we didn't even see anything out of Van, really. We saw a couple leg kicks, I think, and that was about it. He caught the head kick, threw him off, whatever. But with the amount that he's been progressing, and the fact that he was supposed to fight Pantoja. So since we last saw Van, he's had a whole training camp for Pantoja and he's had a whole training camp for Taira. And we already saw the improvements he made in his specifically in his grappling and his takedown defense and his wrestling. We've seen that all the way throughout his career. If you go back and watch his fights in the LFA, he was getting dominated on the ground. Even in fights he won, he'd get taken down and just couldn't do anything on the ground, getting ragdolled, put in bad positions, and he'd come back and win because he was fighting guys who didn't have good gas tanks. And we've seen his progression. Now his takedown defense has got so much better. On the ground, he's got so much better. His jiu-jitsu, everything, his defending, submissions, everything has got so much better. It's going to be a year since we saw him, and he's been training specifically to fight grapplers that whole time. So obviously, as soon as he beat Royval, we knew he was fighting Pantoja. As soon as the Pantoja fight happened, realistically, it should have been Cap that he was fighting, but we knew it was going to be Tyra. So it's been a whole year of him training to fight grapplers, and we've seen how much he's improved throughout his career anyway, just in between fights. So I think he might make this look easy, I'm going to be honest. Tyra, I do think is very good, but I do think his striking kind of sucks. I think it's a bit overrated, and he does get hit a lot. I know Van gets hit a lot, but at least he's also hitting you back, you know what I mean? And I think he's got underrated power, his leg kicks, his body work as well. We saw Tatsuro Taira gas out against Roy Val bad. We've never seen Van gas out. I know he's never been in the 5-rounder, but still. We've seen him look tired at times, especially, I think that Charles Johnson fight, he didn't look great, but that was also an elevation on a week's notice. So I don't think too much, I don't look into that too much, but yeah. Van is a sick fight. Van, I think, might destroy Tyra. I think he might get a late finish. Most likely a decision, because Tyra is tough. I don't see him getting slapped, and I don't see him quitting. So I'll go Van decision. If he loses his first title defense after Pantoja broke his arm, fucking hell. But yeah, I'm going with Van. I wish this was Van versus Cap, because that would have been a sick fight. Then we could have had Tyra versus Horiguchi, you know, an all Japanese fight. That would have been fucking insane. Next up on the card, what the fuck is this matchmaking? Well, I get the matchmaking, but it's like, okay, they're not gonna let me do this. Whatever. Why the fuck? Okay, is Dariush fighting Manuel Torres 4 months or 3 months? No, 5 months. I can't do maths. After getting slumped in one punch by Benoit Saint Denis. You're telling me you couldn't think of anything else for Dariush? You couldn't give him an easy fight? No, you had to give him Torres. I don't even know why Torres got the Dawson fight. He didn't deserve it, but Dariush is coming back 5 months after getting laid out, and he has the worst chin in the division, and he's fighting Torres. It's going to end badly. I don't know why they're doing this to Dariush, but, I mean, fuck it. If he wants to keep taking these fights, it's on him at this point. So, Torres will probably just chin him in around. It'll probably be very similar to the Dawson fight. What I'm noticing with these grapplers, when they're fighting these dangerous strikers, like, they need to take the Hamzat approach. I'm not going to say, like, I want it to happen, because it'd be more boring, but, like, look at Brady versus Morales. Why is Brady waiting until he's rocked to shoot a takedown? No, if you're fighting a grappler, if you're fighting a dangerous striker and you're a grappler, just get after him and just shoot takedowns from the off, right? Throw his rhythm off. Don't let him get his timing on. You know what I mean? Like, if Prates fights a grappler, I guarantee that they'll try to stand with him for the first round and then get knocked the fuck out. Like, no, you got to just get after these guys. And Dariush won't do that. He might do it, but you probably just get chinned anyway. I'm going to be honest. Torres, I think he's still a bit overrated. I think he might lose to Ribovic if they fought, but I'll pick him to beat Dariush just because Dariush, his chin is just, yeah, I feel bad at this point. He just needs to retire. This next fight, this one I kind of have a problem with. I can't even lie. The UFC fucking hate Gamrot, and I don't know why. Like, I know he's not the most entertaining, and obviously we've seen recently, like, they've been cutting guys who aren't entertaining. But he's not boring. People make out as though he's the most boring fighter ever. Yeah, he's had a couple boring fights. So is everyone on this card, you know? I mean, if I go through all these, okay, Yuri hasn't, but a lot of these guys have had not so great fights. Olberg versus Yan, that was kind of mid, and who's he fight before Yan? Ozdemir, that wasn't a great fight. My goat never has boring fights. Tyra's brilliant. Okay, a lot of these guys, this is a bad example, because this card's stacked. But, like, Gamrot just stepped up on 2 weeks' notice to fight Oliveira in the main event. You know what I mean? After that, they couldn't give him, like, a bit of an easier fight. But no, they gave him fucking Ribovic. I know Ribovic, I think Gamrot's going to win. But it's like, what is this fight for Gamrot, you know what I mean? He just did you a favour taking the Oliveira fight on a week's notice. Before that, he did you a favour fighting Ludovic Klein when he didn't have to. Before that, he did you a favour going to Australia and fighting Dan Hooker when no one else wanted to. And you'd give him this, an unranked guy who's relatively unknown. I know a lot of the actual fans of the sport watch him, know him, but this is going to be a card that a lot of people tune in for, a lot of casuals, and they're not going to have any idea who Ribovic is. And if Gamrot wins, they won't care. So, like, how has Ribovic got the number 7 guy? Like, this is just confusing me. He lost to Hak Parast literally last year. I know it was arguable that he won, but still, it's like, why is he getting the number 7 ranked guy in the world who's just done you a favour? He's just done you multiple favours in a row. Let's go through Gamrot's fight history. Oliveira, he took the fight on 2 weeks' notice, went to Brazil. He didn't have to do that. Klein didn't, like, why was he fighting Klein? You know what I mean? Klein was on a decent win streak, but why is he getting the number 7 ranked guy in the world? Gamrot Hooker, he went to Australia on 3 weeks' notice. I remember this fight got announced during the UFC 304 broadcast. I remember because I was at that 304 card, the Leon Bilal card. Jesus Christ. And I remember that's when it got announced. So he took that fight on a month's notice, to fight Dan Hooker in Australia when no one wanted to. And he didn't even have to. He was coming off 3 fucking wins, and they made him do that. It's like, I don't even know. RDA again. Why was he fighting RDA? Why was he fighting down the rankings? Like, this is twice now on a Miami card. Ribovic and Dos Anjos even. That he's had to fight these guys that it just doesn't make sense. The Fiziev fight, I know that ended weird. Gamrot again. He took this fight against Turner on short notice. He's taking a bunch of these fights on short notice against guys coming up like below him in the rankings that he doesn't have to take. And then eventually when he gets his shot up the rankings, it's on short notice against Charles in Brazil, and then they give him Ribovic again. I'm becoming a Gamrot fan just because how they're doing him, you know what I mean? I hope if he wins this, they give him someone high up, maybe a Benoit and Denise, maybe a Paddy fight, something like that. But I thought he should have fought Rufi, whatever his fucking name is. Like, which I know is probably a harder fight than Ribovic. But if he had beaten Ruffy, then it's like, oh shit, Gamrot's back, you know what I mean? He's back at the top. So I do think he is one of the best fighters in the division. He just keeps fighting, like, he just keeps getting weird decisions. Like, he beat Arman. He didn't really beat Arman, but he beat him with a decision, you know what I mean? Like, he was having so much success against Arman in the grappling and the wrestling and everything. So I think he's a good fighter. I hope he beats Ribovic, even though I'd rather see Ribovic fight the top guys, but... Well, no, I don't, because I think he'd lose. But anyway, I'm gonna go with Gamrot to win that fight. I hope he does. Yeah, it's weird matchmaking. It's starting to piss me off now. I'm a Gamrot fan now. I already liked him, but now I'm an actual fan, just because there's matchmaking. Alright. Blaze versus Hockett. I've already spoke about this one. I think Blaze might just be fucking mega washed. He's not looked good in a while. Hockett, they're clearly seeing something in him. And yeah, I think he's going to win this. I think if he wins this, it might give him a fight at the White House. Which Dana also said he's announcing this week. So hopefully we get a couple good fights of that. Move down the card. Kev versus Randy Brown. Again, I've already spoke about this one. Pretty sick fight. Welterweight. It's got a couple good guys outside the rankings. I'm not sure who to go with on this one, just because Kevin Holland, he's one of the guys. He's banned from all the... He's a parlay banned guy. You never put him on... You never bet on him. You never bet against him. Well, you can bet against him quite a lot. You probably win quite a lot of money. But, like, I remember in the span of, 2 months, I won a lot of money on him versus Luque, and then I lost a lot of money on him versus D-Rod. How the fuck do you beat Luque and then lose to D-Rod in 2025 and get nearly finished on multiple occasions? But yeah. I don't know. Randy Brown's, I think he's like 37 now. How old is he? Okay, it doesn't say. That's awesome. I think he's like 37. He's coming off a bad loss to, who did he fight? Gabriel Bonfim. He got knocked out. I know it was a weird stoppage, but he still did get knocked out. So yeah, I don't know who to pick for this one. I'll probably just enjoy it. I hope Randy Brown wins, just because a loss doesn't affect Kev at all. And I don't want to see Randy Brown lose and then have to fight some up-and-coming guy and get cut from the sport. So. Yeah, I'll go with... who did I say? Oh no, I didn't go with anyone. Next fight, the UFC have genuinely just put this fight on out of spite. They've just got the Bellator title fight or PFL title fight, whatever, same thing now, and just shoved it on the prelims of a UFC card. And yeah, I fucking hate this fight. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm getting more negative about this card, even though I said how excited I was. I'm excited for the fight. Why the fuck does Aaron Pico get 2 shots at a ranked opponent? Same as Pitbull. Pitbull lost to Yair, and then they gave him Dan Ige. And Dan Ige fought like fucking shit, and Pitbull only just beat him. Now Aaron Pico gets fucking flatlined in a round by my boy Lerone Murphy. No one else picked that. I picked Lerone by KO. I said he would knee him when he came in for a takedown. I was close. He spinning elbowed him when he crab walked in like a fucking retard. But now he gets another shot at Pitbull, and Nathaniel Wood has to fight Keita in Keita's debut after Wood's basically 7-0 since moving to the featherweight division. I know he lost to Naimok, but that was a robbery, and the ref needs to get fucking fired. So did the judges. Fuck everyone in that fight. But now Pico gets a fight against Pitbull, and he's gonna destroy him. Like, Pico is still good. The only problem is his chin sucks, his defense sucks, and a lot of other things suck about him. But he's gonna beat Pitbull. Pitbull's washed. They brought him into the UFC, the end of his career. See what he can do. Pico's still young. He just has no chin, and he's never going to be anything in the sport because he can't take a punch. But yeah, he'll beat Pitbull. I'll be mad watching this fight. I'll be hate watching both guys. Hope for a double KO, and then yeah. Speaking of double KOs, Reyes versus Johnny Walker. Fucking hell. I didn't even know who to pick for this. Whoever gets hit first is going to lose. So yeah, I've already spoke about this fight. It got announced the other day. I'm seeing like a Reyes landed like a straight left hand and rocking Walker badly. and then Reyes running in and getting caught with like a spinning back fist. That's what I'm sensing from this fight. It's going to be some dumb shit like that, and I'm very excited for it. I'm not sure what the exact bout order is. Let's have a look. They did drop it. So on the main card, okay, yeah, so the main card we've got Hockett and Blades and Reyes and Walker. And then on the prelims, Costa on the prelims, that's surprising. Pico, yeah, so. Yeah, there's a fight order. I know it's a bit messed up on here. What titles I'm talking about? Reyes, Walker. So yeah, this is going to be a funny ass fight. Someone's going to get knocked out. It's going to be rough. It's going to be funny. Yeah, I'm not picking either guy. Just predicting the KO, even though everyone knows that's what's going to happen. Next, we got Mirzakhanov Costa. Gee, I've spoken about half of these fights. I'll probably pick, I don't know, lighter man skill man. Costa's 20 pounds lighter than him normally. They're probably about the same weight, not gonna lie. I'll go Azamat. I can't trust Costa again. I know he looked really good against Kopylov, but Kopylov sucks. Yeah, I don't know why people overrate him. Flukas Glazy, man. Yeah! He made people think he was good, I guess. I'll go Azamat, this fucking kebab shop owner. He genuinely looks like a boss man, doesn't he? And he's gonna beat this guy who looks like a fucking Greek god. That was kind of gay. My bad. Next fight. I don't know. I've never watched a Ludwig Godinez fight in my life, I'm gonna be honest. I half watched this one. I didn't know this fight happened. I didn't know this fight. Dern is a fucking champ. I hate this sport. I didn't watch this fight. Yeah, I've never watched a fight anyway. What the fuck? Normally, this is a time where I go make food for the rest of the main card. So I'll go with Suarez. She's pretty decent. She probably should not beat Lemos, but whatever. Here we go. Nate the Train, boy. This is a fight I want to fucking see. Get this on the main card. Nate the Train, Cub Swanson. This is an absolute banger of a fight. I don't know who to go with, though, because I don't know if I can trust Nate anymore. His last couple of fights have not been good. If I let me see him. Thank you. Obviously, he was doing quite well against Shariah, then he got knocked out, so that wasn't very good. He got smoked by Choi, who just disappeared. What the fuck is this guy doing? Who knows? And then he beat Emma. He didn't even look that good in that fight, to be honest. He was kind of losing. He fought Ige? Oh yeah, he did. He got dropped like 8 times, didn't he? Yeah, Lingo beat an armor. This fight was crazy. This is a fight that made me a fan of both guys. But yeah, I don't know who to pick. Swanson, was his last fight against Billy Q? Or am I tripping? Has he had a fight since then? Yeah, that was his last fight. He's not fought for a year? Why? I didn't even know this fight happened. What the fuck? Wasn't this a robbery or something? I can't remember. I'll go Nate the Train just because he's one of my favourites to watch. So yeah, I'll go with him. But that's a banger fight. I'm excited for that. Thank fuck this is the fight they went with. What the instead of Dorcas Luque, because Dorcas would have killed Luque just because Luque is washed, and yeah, Kelvin. He might still kill him, but it won't be as bad because this absolute fridge. Actually, he could just knock him out like he's Bisping or something like that. I don't know. This is a fight that I'm more happy, I guess, if you want to say that, about. You know, 2 unks going at it. Both shit records recently. I'll probably pick Kelvin, I guess. I don't know. See if he can actually make weight this time. How tall is this guy? 6'3". Okay, well that is not Kelvin Gastelum's height. Okay, it doesn't say. I think he's like 5. I think he's shorter than me. I think he's like 5'9", and he can't make middleweight, and he's a professional athlete. Jesus Christ, this sport is weird. I'll go Luke. I'll go Kelvin, I guess. I think Luke is done. He's washed. I don't know who this guy is. I'm gonna be honest. So I'm assuming he fought on Contender Series. I probably watched it. I just can't remember. So I'll do some more tape on this guy, I guess. But Prado kind of sucks. Like, he's lost a lot of his fights. He's fighting decent guys, I guess. Like, okay, he lost to Malaki. Jesus. I think this was the fight where Malaki called out Paddy. And everyone was like, yeah, he beat the shit out of Paddy. And now we know Malaki might be the worst fighter in the division, to be honest. He beat Azaita. Cool. Okay. Lost to Zell. Oh, my God. Why'd they make this fight after he was one and whatever? He's fighting not bad guys, but he's losing. But this makes me think that this is like an easy layup for this guy, just so they can get Prado out the UFC. But yeah, that's the card so far. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, this is probably the whole card. They might add one more fight later on. But yeah, I'm excited for this card, even though I was pissed off half the time talking about it. This was basically my prediction video, but I will make another prediction video closer to the time when I get some tape study done. I didn't even give predictions of half these fights. But yeah, now moving on. I got a couple late predictions for the Mexico card that's going on tonight. And I've changed my pick. I'm going with Lonely Cavana. I can't say his name. Mostly because he's English. I don't want to pick against him. You know what I mean? But man, he's early on. He's like the best flyweight in the world for round 1, and then he kind of falls off a cliff. I'm saying that just because that's what happened in the last fight. And I know this is an elevation, and he's weak to the body, and he has no cardio compared to Moreno. But Moreno didn't have good cardio in his last fight. He looked gassed after one round. And it's an elevation. Fuck it. Lona Cavana is going to chin Brandon Moreno within 7 minutes. Fuck it. That's my prediction. I'll put some money on it as well. Why not? Yeah. Fuck it. I hope this happens. I think Moreno needs to move up divisions. If he loses tonight especially. Because this guy, he relied on his speed so much, and I don't know if that's going to be there anymore. And his cardio. I think if he starts cutting less weight, I think it would benefit him. Especially if he gets knocked out here, because realistically, Cavana's path to a victory here is just a knockout. It's not. Yeah, I doubt he wins a decision. I doubt the grappling is going to do anything. I do think Cavana has decent grappling, but yeah. I'll go Cavana to chin Moreno. Fuck it, why not? I hope it happens. And then I'm switching my prediction on this one. I'm going with Wes Schultz. Fuck it. Penis. He's good. Why did my mouse go there? He's good. He's good for a round, I feel like. And considering this is in Mexico, if he doesn't knock out Schultz in a round, if he doesn't explode shots all over his face, that's penis. I feel like he could gas out or lose and get submitted, because in the grappling he's not looked good. In one of his fights recently, well, I don't know how recent it was, but on the regional scene, the commentator was talking about how he's only a white belt and he was losing to white belts in the gym and like getting subbed by them, putting bad positions by them, all that. I can't remember exactly what the commentator was saying, and that's concerning. When that was a couple of years ago, and that was a fight he got ragdolled in. I do think he came back and won. Well, that might have been his loss. I'm not entirely sure. And it's just, I don't know if I can pick him against a guy who, like, if you pull off a Sulaev stretch in a professional fight, especially on the Contender Series, you're good at grappling. Like, you know what I mean? You can get, you know what you're doing down there. And Penis does not know how to do it. Just not know how to grapple. His grappling is shit. His takedown defense sucks. So I'm going to change my pick. I'm going to go with Wes Schultz. I think he submits him in round 2. Or he could get knocked the fuck out in one round, because he didn't look good against, who did he find the Contender Series? Abdul Malik. Mansour Abdul Malik. So, yeah, this is a weird fight. I'm going to change my prediction. Oh yeah, this fight, I'll talk about this, I guess. We had a new replacement fight. I think Taryn's alright, but she's going to lose. So yeah, I'll go with Karakate, however you say her name. I think this girl's only like 21 or something, so especially in women's MMA, you get shoved into a big fight, well, not a big fight, but against a decent opponent like, I can't say her name, Karakate. I think it'll probably be too much. And it's in Mexico. You know, she's probably going to gas out. I think this girl beat Carly Judice, I think, on the Contender Series. And she's alright. Well, Carly Judice is good, so. Taran's never fought someone like that, so I'm going to go with Karakate for this one. But yeah, UFC 327. Actual sick card. Hopefully the UFC wakes up and gives us some more good fights now. Now all we need Islam versus Ian announced. We need DDP Allen. We need Ilya's fight. Apparently Ilya might not be on the White House because they don't want to see Gaethje get flatlined. They don't want to see the American die at the White House card. So I made a video the other day saying about how that's the only title fight that they can get on the White House, and now we might not be getting that. So maybe it is. Maybe they do just do Conor. What other fights do we need announced soon? Volk, obviously, he's going to fight everywhere for Lerone and the other title fights. The Merab Yan trilogy. There's some good fights that we got coming up. I'm excited. Hopefully in the summer. I'm going to make a video. I might do it right now, actually. Talking about all the fights we need for the summer. All the Fight Night main events. There's some good ones. But yeah. This card's making me think maybe the UFC are locking in a bit. You know what I mean? If they're putting on a card like this while having the White House around the corner. Yeah, there's not really many Americans on there. Like Blades, non-cares. Kev, yeah. Reyes, meh. But none of these guys are going to be on the White House. Let's be honest. But yeah. That's what I want to talk about today. We've got the fights coming up tonight. Hopefully Cavana wins. It's a pretty shit card, but yeah. The UFC might be back. I say this, and then next week we're going to get a women's MMA main event. But whatever, fuck it. UFC is back, let's go. Kavana's going to knock out Moreno. Life is good.